Welcome to Homeschool is a Work of Heart. I'm Melissa Webb, and after years in the classroom and years homeschooling and supporting those in home education, and even more years creating curriculum for families like yours, I have learned this. Homeschooling isn't about perfection. It is about purpose. And this podcast is here to encourage you, to guide you, and to remind you that what you're doing truly matters. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Homeschool is a Work of Heart. I have to share the latest review that we received, and a huge thank you goes out to Lifelong Learner 3. If you have not yet left a review, you just have to know, this literally makes my day. I spend so much of my life in an office and by myself. And when I do these weekly podcasts, I always hope and pray that I have picked something of interest, something that encourages you, something that makes you smile, something that brings you joy or builds confidence. It's always my intention. And unless I get feedback, I don't really know. I mean, I can look at the numbers. We had over 300 downloads last week. I think that's great. And they seem to keep coming back. So if that's you, thank you for coming back. And if you haven't left a review, please do. It certainly does not have to be to this level that I'm about to read. This is extraordinary, I have to say. You literally could just say one sentence or two sentences, and it would help the podcast. It would help it go to more people, because that is how podcasts gain in popularity. How people get to know about them is if people are saying, this is a great podcast, other people should listen to it. So again, please share it with your friends and consider leaving a review. Here is what Lifelong Learner 3 said with her 5 stars. She said, I started listening to Melissa's podcast, and it has become a weekly rhythm I genuinely look forward to. I don't know how she does it, but every topic feels timely and relevant. Melissa has a gift for drawing listeners in with a relatable story and then seamlessly connecting it to a meaningful truth or practical lesson. She always leaves me with one actionable takeaway that I actually feel inspired to put into practice. She's like a life coach with the perfect blend of empathy and challenge. Each episode is short enough to fit into my busy schedule, yet the ideas linger with me long after I finish listening. Thank you, Melissa, for consistently creating such thoughtful content. Your podcast has encouraged me, challenged me, and helped me grow as a teacher, parent, and person. If you homeschool your children, this podcast is a must. But even if you don't, you'll find meaningful life lessons for your own journey. Wow, right? Is that not so amazing? It literally fueled me. I loved it so much, and I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. So again, if you've not left a review, especially if you like this week's podcast, consider at least giving the 5 stars, or however you could leave a review. It would mean the world to me. Okay, so let's jump in. I'm doing something a little different this summer, right? The last week, I gave you guys a fun family freebie to help you discover your children on a whole new level. I got a lot of great feedback on that. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. And this week, we are finishing up our summer story studio. So it kind of got me thinking about a few things. And our summer story studio has been really fun. It's been for a group of children who had a lot of curiosity about how to write a book, like multiple chapters, which is not a school standard. It's not a state standard. At no grade level is your child going to be asked to write a multiple chapter book. So it's a creative writing course. It's not an academic writing course, but of course we use a lot of the things that we teach academically. We just do it for a longer period of time. And these books that these kids are writing are so good. They're very talented. Future authors in the making, I promise you. So as we've been doing that, I've been realizing as that's coming to a close that our new school year is about to begin in just a few short weeks. So while we've been creating our narratives this summer behind the scenes, I do always create a teacher example, but I also think that loose storytelling is another great skill for our children to know how to just tell a story about their day, but also as an adult. And if you've ever been entranced by somebody who can just tell an entertaining story, I know you know what I mean. I love somebody who can tell a great story, who has a great story to tell. And I think it's something worth practicing from time to time. You can do this during the summer, or maybe as you are getting into the mindset of starting up a new school year and you're thinking, what should we write first? I would just ask that if you're going to give the overused prompt, write about something you did this summer, that you would offer up some structure. So I want to teach you what we do, and then I'm going to apply it with an actual story that happened to me this past week. So narrative is one of the 3 core forms of writing. We use it to entertain. And the simplest way to create a storyline is not to give a child a blank piece of paper and say, write about what you did this summer. I'm always shocked when teachers do that. That's so unstructured. Maybe they're just trying to see what they're starting with. Anyway, I wouldn't do that to students. I would first teach them, if you want to create a quick and simple storyline, I want you to use the acronym SWBS. I call it SWBS, but there is no A in it. There are no vowels. It's just SWBS, and it stands for somebody wanted but so. I'm telling you, this is simple. Kids remember acronyms really well, and then they always know the key components that they're going to need for the plot of their story. And I will tell you about this thing that happened to me this week and how I would, in my mind, think about this and then tell a story. And as adults, it comes more naturally because we've been telling stories for much longer. But if you do this, and I hope you do, I encourage you to create fun stories with your kids. That means you should write a fun story too about SWBS, somebody wanted but so, this summer. So for me, the story I'm going to tell you is about myself, and it's the experience that I've been having as I've begun training for a 5K. So I haven't even run the 5K yet, by the way. That's coming up on August 8th. Please, good thoughts, prayers, all the well wishes. But what I wanted was to prove to myself that after 10 years of not running, I can run again. I can work hard and I can do it. That's what I want. So I've got my somebody. I'm the character here based on a true story. And what I want is to improve my running skills, work hard, all that good stuff. Now, if all I did was say, so I got the Nike Run app, I programmed it for 8 weeks of practice, I showed up every day, did my best, race day came, we ran, we had fun, I did it. That would be a very boring story, to be brutally honest. That's a list of what did you do today. I ran a race and I had practiced for 8 weeks and it went well. That's not a story. It's not interesting. What's interesting is the B and the S, the but and the so. And a story can have as many buts and so's as it needs. It will be more chapters long, the more problems and the more solutions that an author adds to the story. But for today's podcast, I definitely want to keep it short for you. So I will tell you what happened and see if you can figure out the buts and the so's. I'm not going to tell you the buts and the so's. You listen for them as I kind of run through what had happened this last Sunday. So I had just finished a 4-mile run in the July heat, I should add, because that's a lot. It has been so hot. Even at 7 a.m. in the morning, it feels like the sun is waking up angry. It's hot. But I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I want to run this 5K with my kids, and I call them kids. But if you've been a long-time listener, you already know they are all adults. And apparently, somewhere along the way, they have decided that voluntarily running a 5K, 3.1 miles in August sounded like a delightful family activity, and I agreed. I mean, maybe it's payback for something, but they talked me into it 100%. And they have been so incredibly encouraging to myself and also to my husband who's doing it with us. They have been believing in me, telling me I can totally do this. They even helped me download a training app, which is the Nike Run app. I was able to program an 8-week training plan. My son Derek gave me a Whoop band. Do you have any of these devices? It's like an Aura ring, but it has this AI coach that comes with the app. All of these things to help keep track of my vitals and track my progress over time. And so I've been doing this and it's great. I plug in the Nike Run app and then I go do whatever it tells me to do. For example, today was a hills day. It was interval training and it was great. And so I do the Nike Run app, and then when I get back, then my AI coach on my Whoop band gives me a buzz on my phone and gives me more details. Like, I have so much data. Who knew I could ever have so much data on a run? So anyway, Sunday rolls around and the app tells me to go run 4 miles at a conversational pace. I love that, right? And it has this coach. I have a headphone piece in. I just wear one, not both. And Coach Bennett is cheering me on. He's like, okay, today we're going to run 4 miles. I want you to stay easy at a conversational pace. But for me, if I'm running, it's very hard for me to be conversational no matter how slow I'm going. And I'm also confused at this point because I'm like, 4 miles? 4 miles. It's a 5K. That's only 3.1 miles. Clearly, Coach Bennett subscribes to some kind of philosophy that if you're going to suffer, you might as well overachieve. Whatever, challenge accepted. I'm going to do it. I'm geared up. I am headed out and I run in the heat. And I never stop, not for 4 miles. Is that not amazing? I got into this steady pace. It was not fast. It was like high 13, low 14 minute pace. I'm just trucking along. I was sweating buckets. I was panting, and every once in a while I would talk back to the coach in my ear to see if I could, keep that conversation going. I did find myself reconsidering a few life choices, but I would give myself a pep talk. I'd be like, come on, Mel, you can do this. You can do this. It's hard, but it's not too hard. Come on, we can do this. We can be comfortable in this discomfort. And I just kept going for 4 miles. It felt like forever. It really did. But finally, Coach Bennett rings back into my ear. We're coming to the end. We're almost there. I'm going to count you down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. And I stopped. And I put my hands on top of my head. And I'm trying to get air back into my lungs. And I was smiling. I literally was so ecstatic that I did it. 4 miles, no stopping. Now, there was not a soul around to witness this historic athletic achievement. But in my mind, I was seeing confetti, possibly a marching band, but at the very least, one of those people that holds the finish line ribbon, right? I'm feeling good. I'm like excited to go back in and tell Greg, babe, I did it. So I'm walking back. I go into the house because I've got to go get my electrolyte water. And as I'm walking in, my Whoop band gives that buzz that it's going to tell me as well pretty much how awesome I did. I look down at my phone, and this is what my AI coach had typed. Great job on a moderate run today, Mel. I was like, moderate? Excuse me? I was genuinely offended. I had just run 4 miles. I've not run for 10 years. I didn't stop. My heart rate had climbed all the way to 156, and I still didn't stop. I was so proud of myself. And now this tiny little computer attached to my wrist wanted to tell me that it was just moderate. Can you imagine? Naturally, I was upset and I argued with artificial intelligence. And yes, I do think this is going to be something, if it's not already, there's going to be some heated exchange going on. And I typed into my phone, why in the heck would you call that moderate? That was tough, FYI. You should adjust your coaching. Yeah, I literally did that. And it typed all kinds of stuff up for it. It did stay cool and calm. It did explain itself. And what it basically said was, it was not judging my effort. It was, in fact, measuring the strain on my body. And it said something like, this was registered as moderate because you hadn't worked as hard as you were working 7 weeks earlier. So all of a sudden, I was, wait a minute, what is this saying? Oh, wait. So my body wasn't working as hard as it had been. It's not as heavy as a strain on my body. So Whoop bands do that. So it's true. When I started, I was like at a 12, a 13 strain on my body. And I believe that day it was like only a 8 or a 9. Because remember, I was trying to keep it conversational. But basically, my AI coach was telling me, hey, your cardiovascular fitness has improved and you were in zone 2-3, not zone 3-4. This is great. This is an accomplishment that you didn't have to push your body much harder, therefore making it a moderate run, not a stressful or fully strained run. And I will tell you, just like that, moderate did not sound so insulting. And I could smile again. Okay, so if I was just at lunch with you and telling you that short story, that is a short story, can you see all of the parts? It's a story about me picking up running and wanting to prepare and get stronger for a 5K that's happening in August. But despite all my hard work, I have this artificial intelligence coach telling me my workout was moderate. So I got angry. It made me feel as if my hard work was being dismissed. But it explained itself and said that actually I was improving in fitness. So then I realized that what felt like criticism was actually evidence of growth, and I could choose to be happy once again. It's just a silly little story, and I wanted to pick something so small. It was literally a moment in my day. That's it. But we can take little moments like those and tell entertaining stories. So if that is something that you want to try with your kids, and I hope that you do, I want you to embrace the acronym SWBS, SWBS. And if you have a story that you're like, oh, I have one that fits right into that and it's entertaining, by all means, share it with me because I would absolutely love to hear it. I don't know if you know this about our podcast, but the program that I use is called Buzzsprout. And they have an opportunity, they call it fan mail, but it's just an ability, it's a voicemail line that they provide that you can click on and you can leave a message. I don't know if it's just typed or if you can do voice too. Check it out. Let me know. I think that would be really fun. I would love to hear a story from you. Have fun with it. I think stories build community. They show a little bit of a vulnerability about ourselves, at the same time giving us a few opportunities to laugh at ourselves. And stories are something that have been around since the beginning of time. People would sit and talk and tell stories around fires, and I don't ever want to lose that. So I hope this week's podcast has inspired someone to do a little storytelling. And I would also recommend not to get too sensitive about criticisms because, as I learned, some of them are actually compliments. Right on, everyone. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. And hey, if you are feeling stretched thin and you would love some support with teaching writing, I offer programs designed to make that part of homeschooling easier and more enjoyable for both you and your child. I also have free resources on my website, so please be sure to check those things out and subscribe to the podcast. You do not have to do this alone. Right on.